I just think of myself as Floyd Mayweather, a person who had a dream, having fun, entertaining the world. This is what I do. I don't do things for likes or views. What I want the people to really know is this, and what they gotta really know is this. I can really fight. I don't know if he had 1 fight or 2 fights against probably another YouTuber, I don't really know. He can come out, fight hard as you want to fight. The results will always be the same. A lot of times when guys fight me, guys fight just to go the distance, to say, I went the distance with Floyd Mayweather. But guess what? Can't stop me. You name a fighter, the results is always the same. No matter what. You're gonna find out what's the difference between real boxing and YouTube boxing. You're gonna find out what's the difference. You know what? I tell my kids, go out and build your own legacy like I did for myself.
Some fighters retire and disappear into luxury. Others stay close to the fire because boxing is the only language they really trust. And right now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. looks like a man protecting a legacy instead of just reminiscing about it. Watching Floyd step into the gym to train the son of his late uncle Roger Mayweather feels bigger than a normal coaching story, because this is the Mayweather bloodline circling back to its roots. This is history teaching history.
And if you know anything about Roger, then you already know this isn't just about mitt work and combinations. Roger was one of the masterminds behind that slick defensive system that turned Floyd into the human version of a locked safe. Shoulder roll, distance control, timing, making elite fighters swing at air until frustration became exhaustion. That whole philosophy came from years of family knowledge built inside the Mayweather Boxing Club. So now when Floyd starts mentoring the next generation personally, it almost feels like the gym itself is reopening an old chapter. But here's the part that makes this interesting. Insiders are already saying the young Mayweather has flashes of the family traits. Fast hands, sharp feet, natural instincts. And let's be honest, that's terrifying when your personal coach is a man who made world champions look like they forgot the homework. Imagine learning defense from someone who turned avoiding punishment into an art form. That's like learning chess from a grandmaster who never lost his queen. Still, the pressure is real too, because carrying the Mayweather name in boxing is like walking around with a championship belt strapped to your expectations every single day. But if this chemistry clicks, then this might not just be Floyd helping family. This could be the beginning of another Mayweather chapter quietly loading in while the rest of boxing is distracted looking somewhere else. And just when Floyd Mayweather Jr. was back in the gym preserving the family blueprint and sharpening the next generation of Mayweather talent, now he's casually stepping to the microphone talking like he might jump back into the spotlight himself. And somehow the man still makes boxing feel like a luxury event mixed with a chess match. Because listen to the tone here. Floyd isn't screaming about a Manny Pacquiao rematch. He's speaking like a CEO finalizing paperwork for a billion-dollar merger. We're almost at the finish line. That's the most Floyd Mayweather way possible to announce potential chaos.
Well, at this particular time, I truly believe that, I know everybody is going to want to ask questions, about the Pacquiao fight. Like I said, the sport of boxing has truly changed. We have a lot of new companies, a lot of new faces, and Netflix. I truly believe that we'll get this done. I think we're almost at the finish line to finish the Pacquiao fight. But a lot of things has changed in the sport of boxing, and eventually, I think within the next 48 hours, either the Pacquiao fight should be done.
And when he starts bringing up how boxing changed with Netflix, new companies, new money, you can tell he sees the sport differently from most fighters. Everybody else sees opponents, Floyd sees ecosystems. That's why even years removed from his prime, he still moves like the center of gravity in boxing. Then out of nowhere, you've got Michael Zambidis sitting there talking about his 180 fights and promising tailor-made surprises. And I'm over here laughing because nobody says I have surprises for Floyd casually, unless they either believe in themselves completely or have accepted they're entering a very expensive puzzle. But credit to him, he's got confidence, and confidence is mandatory when the guy across from you built an undefeated career off turning aggression into regret.
First of all, I'm a boxer. I have 180 fights, 158 wins, and 87 knockouts. 90% is with my punches. I am a boxer. Of course, I prepare for Floyd. I do specific trainings, and I have too many surprises for him, tailor-made surprises.
Then Floyd pivots mid-interview into fashion mode, promoting his own brand, talking ownership, talking self-investment, and honestly, that's been his whole philosophy forever. Even his tracksuit sounded rich. And somehow, the interview still ends with him shouting out Teofimo Lopez for a 3 a.m. workout like the boxing gym is a vampire convention now. That's the funny part about Floyd. One second he's discussing billion-dollar negotiations, next second he's giving late-night gym approval ratings like a proud professor. But buried inside all the jokes and smooth talk is the real headline. If this Pacquiao rematch actually gets finalized, boxing is about to reopen one of the sport's biggest unfinished conversations all over again.
And last night, I wanted, me and Teofimo, as well as some of the other guys, we had a good workout last night. A late night workout. Teofimo, you did a good job last night. I wanted to let you know that. So last night we had a late night workout. Could have been like 2 or 3 in the morning, but we got it done. And I want to say, keep up the good work. I'm proud of you.
And just when we were talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr. stepping back into mentor mode and casually teasing this whole Manny Pacquiao rematch situation like a man holding all the cards, now the conversation swings completely sideways into conspiracy, contracts, missing fights, Netflix money, and alleged financial chaos. And honestly, this is the most post-retirement Floyd storyline imaginable. Because Wade Plemons is basically looking at the whole situation like a detective staring at a corkboard covered in red string, saying, hold on, none of this adds up. 1 minute Floyd is talking about fighting Mike Tyson in Congo, then there's another exhibition floating around with Michael Zambidis, then suddenly everything goes quiet, and now allegedly the Pacquiao contract is the real trapdoor underneath all of it. And whether people agree with Wade or not, you can't deny the optics look wild. Floyd has always moved like a man who thinks rules are suggestions written for other people.
Maybe Floyd was trying to get around the verbiage of a real fight and flat out scam Manny Pacquiao and Netflix into having an exhibition when that's not what they signed a contract for. This might be why, because, I had speculated Floyd didn't want to lose his O. He didn't want to be in a real fight because that jeopardizes his legacy, even though he says he doesn't care about legacy. But also, he needs money very, very badly, so he was going to try to do a workaround where he considers this an exhibition and maybe try to get it by Netflix in that same way. And they went, nah, dude, you signed for a real fight. Either honor your contract or we're going to court.
That confidence made him untouchable in the ring, but outside the ring, sometimes it feels like he's trying to run 6 negotiations at once while balancing stacks of money and crocodile leather bags on a moving treadmill. Then Wade starts connecting the tax talk, the contract advances, the is it an exhibition or a real fight, confusion, and suddenly this whole thing sounds less like a boxing rollout and more like a season finale cliffhanger on a business drama. But here's the funny part. Even through all the accusations and speculation, everybody still ends up circling back to the same thing, the Pacquiao rematch. That rivalry refuses to die. 10 years later, and boxing still treats those two names like unfinished business. And honestly, if Floyd really is boxed into making that fight happen, that might be the most ironic twist imaginable. The master negotiator potentially getting negotiated into one final mega event. Boxing scripts this stuff better than Hollywood sometimes.
Tyson, no Zambidis. Honestly, that's probably saving the boxing world more than it's hurting it. But we may have gotten Floyd Mayweather locked into a Manny Pacquiao fight against his will, and I have to see it now. That I have to see. I need to see the back and forth. I need to see the rivalry renewed, not because it's going to be a fantastic fight. I don't even know what it'll look like. It won't look like they did 10 years ago, and that was 10 years before they were supposed to fight the first time. But it will be interesting, and the rivalry will bring out the best and worst of both. I need it, and so does Floyd.
And just when the whole Floyd Mayweather Jr. situation started sounding like a giant maze of contracts, lawsuits, mystery exhibitions, Netflix money, and financial conspiracy theories, now you've got somebody from inside the actual Mayweather bloodline stepping in with full confidence like, nah, y'all still don't understand who this man is in the gym. And honestly, that changes the energy completely. Because when Roger Mayweather's son starts talking about holding pads for Floyd and says you can physically feel the difference, that hits different than random internet debates. He's basically saying the public sees the jewelry, the flexing, the exhibitions, all the circus stuff, but behind closed doors the fighter is still there. Then he casually says Floyd can still punch hard and still thinks sharper than most active fighters. And I'm over here thinking that's the terrifying part about Floyd. The body aging is one thing. The brain? That man treats boxing like advanced geometry.
Man, listen, I've worked with a lot of fighters. I work with world champions. There's nothing like Floyd Mayweather. You know, aside from that being my cousin, like no bias involved, that really is the greatest fighter of all time. And holding the mitts, you can feel it technically. You know, he has a stigma that he can't punch. I can confirm he can punch, and he can punch really hard. You know, but even at this age, he's still fast. He's still slick.
And when Lakay starts talking about a potential Manny Pacquiao rematch being worse than last time, now we're entering dangerous confidence territory. Because saying Floyd wins is one thing. Saying he stops Pacquiao? That's the type of statement that either ages like prophecy or gets replayed forever with dramatic music if it goes wrong. But I get why he believes it. The Mayweather camp has always viewed damage differently. Floyd built an entire career around not taking punishment while everybody else was aging in dogfights. That's why these people around him still talk like he's secretly frozen in time at 25 years old. And I had to laugh when Lakay basically said Floyd could still beat younger fighters today just because he knows more. That's the most Mayweather compliment ever. Not stronger, not faster, smarter. Like boxing is a giant exam and Floyd already stole the answer key years ago. Still, if this rematch really happens, all this confidence, all this legacy talk, all these old rivalries suddenly stop being stories and start becoming pressure again. And pressure at that level? That brings out strange things in boxing legends.
Are we gonna see a repeat of last time and him getting the win? I know, I already know, but I want to hear how you go. I want to hear you just say it.
As far as the corner, you know, that's up to him. But I'm willing to work. You know, me and Otis are always willing to work. As far as the result, come on. Now it's gonna be worse than last time. Like you heard him say, you know, he hasn't taken any abuse, so he's still like he's 25. You know, he's still physically prime, and if he wants to, I think he can stop Pacquiao. If we're being honest, I think he can stop Pacquiao.
Okay.
So now the Floyd Mayweather Jr. story feels split between legacy and chaos at the same time. One minute he's in the gym protecting the Mayweather blueprint and mentoring the next generation. The next minute, boxing is exploding with rumors about Pacquiao rematches, contracts, Netflix money, and mystery exhibitions. But somehow Floyd still controls the conversation without even stepping into the ring. That's the crazy part. Even after retirement, his name still moves the sport like a headline magnet. And now with people around him saying he still looks sharp in the gym, the Pacquiao rivalry suddenly feels alive all over again. Whether it actually happens or not, boxing keeps circling back to the same unfinished story, Floyd and Manny. And honestly, that rivalry still feels big enough to stop the whole sport for one night. Now drop your thoughts in the comments. If Floyd and Pacquiao really run it back, who wins this time? And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.